Welcome those here this morning and anyone who's watching online to the September 15th, 2022 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please.
Mr. Markgraf?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Ms. Smith? Here.
Any conflict of interest statements of the board?
No, sir.
No. Approval of minutes of the meeting of September 8th, 2022.
You good?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. She's already put some more words into it.
I know, yes. It's already.
You're good. You're good. Bid openings. Hey, I need that.
Put this on the board.
I'm on the board.
He said you already said more than Johnny.
Now we can get a move on. Okay, we got the minutes done, right? Bid openings, there are none. Matters from department heads or their representatives? Anyone? No. Correspondence. Item A, appointment of Ms. Eva Huerta to the Board of Public Works and Safety and resignation of Johnny Perez. Welcome. Welcome to the board, Eva.
Welcome,
Thank
yes.
you, I appreciate it. Looking forward to servicing the board and our residents.
Item B, correspondence received from Chief of Police William Short requesting the approval of Officer Langley's bringing some energy, Eva.
Yeah, I feel it.
Be promoted to the rank of sergeant with pay adjustments as of September 13th, 2022.
Make a motion to approve Chief Short's request.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item C, correspondence received from Brandon Zingone, ITV America, requesting permission to shoot some additional driving footage in and around Hammond on Thursday, September 15th, 2022. Is the gentleman here? I mean, I know he's done it before, but do we know exactly what he might be doing? Kev, what do you think?
So, if I'm not mistaken, this has to do with that documentary. And so, I know that Ann Anderson has been working with him and that group. If it has to do with, I think it has to do with the downtown documentary. So I would say that it should be approved. I haven't seen it, but if it's ITV, I believe that's what they're working on.
Okay.
Does it give location, Mr. President, or?
Just says additional footage in and around Hammond today.
Yeah.
Great, as well as whatever B-roll is outside City Hall.
Yeah, that's,
I don't see anything further.
okay, was it forwarded by
B-roll
Ann, or
around Hammond.
is there any other email, like address on there, like Ann Anderson, or who did it come from the city?
Well, I mean, this request went to law. Let's see, Brandon. Looks like it came straight to the law
Okay.
department.
Yeah, I don't have any, because he's done it before, I don't have any objection.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Zingon's request.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item D, correspondence received requesting a rental registration hearing.
I'll make a motion to set that hearing for September 29th, 2022.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Matters from board members?
No, sir?
Nothing?
Got
Okay.
nothing.
Got nothing. All right, moving on into new business. Item A, order to rescind and release order to demolish for properties located at 36 Locust Street front and 1509 Myrtle Avenue front, submitted for approval.
Yes, Mr. President, both of these are successful rehabs and requested by Mr. Luter. I like to give kind of the good news stories on these a little bit. 36 Locust, you may recall, it's at the corner of where Forest meets Locust, or the T, I should say, and it was like a really, I don't know if you remember, a gentleman came in with a walker, we were trying to get him out. It was in really bad shape. I don't think there had been air conditioning or water in there for a while. It's been totally rehabbed, and I saw it on the market for $288,000. So that's great news for the city. Yes. So that's good news for the city. I think it's a great story. I mean, also the upside is the gentleman that was living there did get some tax surplus money to help him relocate. So I think all in all, it ended up being a good thing. So I did want to report that. But these have both been rehabbed. So once again, you know, I know we do a lot of demolitions here, but we do a lot of rehabs as well, and that usually comes from our pushing by filing demolition orders and gets kind of people off the, you know, off whatever you want to call it, and onto hopefully getting a successful rehab. And these are two examples. So I'd request their approval.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the order to rescind and release order to demolish for properties located at 36 Locust Street front and 1509 Myrtle Avenue front.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item B, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 1137 150th Street, submitted for approval.
Yes, Mr. President, this is a request from Mr. Luter. It's a regular rehab. I don't know if this is one that, I don't believe that you've had the demolition up before you, so it's worded in a way that the board will be getting the demolition, and yet they still wanted to go ahead and enter the rehab because they have had the inspection. So that's how it's worded. I'd request its approval as presented.
Okay, then I will make a motion to approve the agreement to rehabilitate for 1137 150th Street.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item C, Robertsdale access agreements for properties located at 1223 Lakeview Avenue, 1302 Lakeview Avenue, and 1332 through 34 121st Street, submitted for approval.
Mr. President and Board, as you know, these are lead remediation agreements. As they come in, we put them before you. We'd request their approval.
Make a motion to approve the access agreements with the properties that were read off.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item D, notice of violation hearing for property located at 4908 Elm Avenue. Is O&M Properties LLC here representing them, or no?
Not that I know of, but I have been in contact with them. They've met with myself and Mr. Luter at the property to explain to them what needs to be done to remediate it. During an interior inspection of the property, we found out that there was a bedroom in the attic and also another one in the basement. The attic bedroom did not meet the 7-foot height, minimum height requirements, and there was no permits for it. And the one in the basement did also not meet the 7-foot height requirements, did not have an egress window or any other opening window, and there was no permits for that either. They have agreed to remove both of the bedrooms as directed by Mr. Luter and myself. So we're just requesting that you find the finding in order that is attached to the paperwork I gave you to order the removal of both bedrooms.
So what you just described is in here?
Yes.
Okay. Questions?
Nope. We're just approving the notice of violation, right?
Okay.
Second.
Well, no, there's a findings in order attached to
Okay.
the packet I gave you.
Okay, then I'll make a motion to approve the findings in order for 4908 Elm Avenue.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item E, notice of violation hearing for property located at 2312 White Oak Avenue.
Good morning, Board.
Morning.
Morning.
Is Ms. Carter here?
No, I have been in contact with the owner, though. This property was actually in front of the board a few years ago for the same violation, but the order was never properly recorded. So, I did an inspection again in August and found that the new owner of the property was also renting out the basement apartment, so it was never properly removed. So with an agreement with the new owner, we've decided that she wants to remove the apartment and just keep the property as a single-family home. And based on the lack of fire separation permits for the apartment and the ceiling height, we asked the board to approve the order for removal,
Of just the unit in the basement?
just the unit in the basement.
Okay, I will make a motion then to approve the findings in order for the removal of the apartment in the basement for 2312 White Oak.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item F, I don't seem to have item F, or do I? Yes, I do. I'm sorry, my fault here. Oh, yep. Item F, resolution giving its president authority to sign all documents relating to the transfer of real estate for 402 165th Street submitted for approval.
The board signed the purchase agreement back in April? In August, okay. It's been going on for some time. We talked about this. This is the lot just off of Lyman on the south side of 165th, I guess on the east side of where the tracks are going through. NIPSCO put a pole there. We let them put a pole there knowing that they were going to buy the land. The closing agent and NIPSCO have requested a written authorization that you can sign the document. So that's what this is.
Okay.
So we're just approving the resolution?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then Linda will get that to the title company.
Okay, I will make a motion then to approve the resolution.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. This is one of my favorite parts of the meeting right here.
Always, always.
When we like get to speak to the right-of-way permits. Love this. Item G, right-of-way permits submitted for approval from the engineering department.
Good morning and welcome to our
Morning.
newest member. So I have two that were placed on here, one being Kenwood Street. They just needed a little bit of a time extension, and that is due to the fact that the water department added some valves and so forth, so forth. Next one being,
So you're saying on the first one, Kenwood's going to be closed a little longer?
it's going to be closed approximately for another week and a half. Because they had trouble with some of the water main and so forth and the chlorination of it.
Okay,
The next one being Conkey and Blaine, which is approximately 2 months closure. They'll have everything in there, utilities. So,
go ahead, I'll let you finish.
No.
I got questions.
okay, go ahead.
Conkey and Blaine. Will
Yes,
Kenwood be open before Conkey and
Yes.
Blaine starts?
yes,
Okay,
Thank you.
definitely.
You was
It's not
right.
going to happen where they're going to close multiple ones.
okay,
Now, the next one,
Yes.
exciting one we've been dealing with, is 165th Street. You have two options there, one for a full closure, which is 65 days, and one for a partial closure, which would take 120 days, put it into February. We do have a meeting set up today at noon with Mayor, Mr. Smith, Chief of Staff, and several council members, which I'm going to present the two different options to them, and a decision will be made.
I think the board might be able to just hold off to see what comes out of this meeting
If
today.
we can do it contingent upon, there's two sheets there, one for each full closure and one for a
Gotcha.
regular closer. The reason being is if it's a full closure, it can be done early December. And they need to get the signage boards out 2 weeks prior to order.
No, understood, but I think,
So if we can
If-
contingent,
yeah,
and I could just say, this is what was made, the decision in the meeting today with Mr. Smith, if that's,
Yeah, I mean, my preference would be that the board signs off on one of them when the time comes. I know Nick D is,
when the time comes, yes.
I know Mr. Borders probably is getting pressure from our friends over at Nick D, because they're, ripping apart our city currently. This is, I mean,
Man.
173rd remains closed. The good thing about that closure, it's allowed the city to reevaluate how it's going to deal with 173rd once the train comes, because
Right.
it's been nice and quiet over there. So we may make some changes to that street anyway to allow the neighbors to keep enjoying that quiet. That's for another day of discussion. But in the meantime, I have no problem making Nikki wait another week or so for them to figure out which way they're going.
And the work that's gonna be done here is like what's been happening all along this corridor, right?
With 160.
Everything under the ground.
Correct.
Right?
One of the biggest issue is there's a water main going dead center down. It's a 100-year-old water
Going
main,
which way, east-west?
east-west down 65th,
Yeah.
and they need to put line stops in there just in case if it's broken. It's a
No, no.
24-inch. Now, if we can just get the boards up and construction forthcoming on probably early
I think we'd
October.
have some better direction after this meeting you guys
Right.
have today, to where we might be able to act on something next Thursday?
Right.
Possibly?
Just the message boards to
Yeah, I
get
mean,
up.
what's their, are they saying like they want to close like
That's the
this
thing,
week
right?
or something like that?
No, it would be October 3rd, I believe.
Okay, so they can do it next week,
Okay.
right, Mark? I mean,
Yes.
So
And
it's
it-
not anything like, if the closure, one way or another, if we're gonna do the full or
Right.
one lane, it's still October 3rd, we can do this next week.
Right.
Right? Absolutely.
And just put up, we can get up a message board saying construction coming
Yeah.
in the near future.
Something's gonna happen.
In the near
Right,
future.
so this was happening at the last minute and so forth.
It's gotta be done, I know that, I think we all know that.
The good thing is the tracks will be put in at that particular time for that closure or construction, so it won't have to be closed again,
I'd
ever.
like to know, is 173rd gonna be open?
Yes.
When they close it?
They cannot close, the only thing that's going
Otherwise,
to
we're
be
gonna be
closed.
needing Station 5, man.
Yeah, good point.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a complete sarcophagus.
There'd be Conkey closed and 65th under construction, and everything else will be open.
Well, let's hope they don't find any sarcophagus under there when
I
they
would-
start
I
digging.
would
Well, don't say that.
What's the plural, sarcophagi, I think?
Anything further, Mr. Gordon?
No.
No, we got your point. We got your information, but I think.
Okay, thank you. I
There'll be
appreciate it.
some more due diligence done hopefully today, and we'll have a
Yes,
good
sir.
response next week, hopefully.
I think it's very important that they know that they will not be able to close 165th with 173rd, so.
Oh, I think
Yes,
that's
that's-
public safety, that'd just be terrible.
They cannot,
I think
period.
it's
I mean,
almost
from police
impossible.
and fire perspective, it's
Right,
not
terrible,
good for
terrible.
anybody that lives west of Lyme. Not that anybody here does.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything further? Thank you, sir.
No.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve the 2 right-of-way permits.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Garage sale permit submitted for approval. Do you need these back? Do you need these back or no? No. Okay. They must stay with us. We gotta sign them, I guess, okay.
They can't close 165th, man.
Oh, my gosh. It's gonna have to be done. God.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the garage sale permits.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And Menards. Oh, Menards gonna lose sales.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Number 10, old business, item A, status, 7217 Harrison, rehab expired.
Yes, I spoke to Inspector Jordan just a little bit ago. This is a property in which, is anybody here on this property, 7217 Harrison? Okay. It was set, okay, so background is rehab, agreement to rehabilitate was entered by this board a while ago. It expired, I believe, in April or May. At that point, we set a status, May 26th, it was up. The rehab was continuing. We set it for 6:30, I'm sorry, we set it for 6:24. And on June 24th, the rehab was continuing, permits had been pulled. Inspector Jordan had asked for a September 15th status, which is why we're here. He came in, he mentioned that he believes one more status and it should be complete. So if we could get a 60-day status, that'll do it.
November 17th.
Yeah,
Sounds great. I think we've got a
We
bunch
got a
on
lot
that day,
going on
yeah.
that day. Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe go one, is the next day
It's
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving's the next week.
We can go November 10th.
We go Marine
It's not
Corps
quite
birthday, November 10th.
Yeah, or maybe we'll go what's the one after Thanksgiving? Let's go that.
December 1st.
Sure.
12.
12-1.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion then to set 7217 Harrison for status to December 1st, 2022.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item B, status, 2314 Indianapolis Boulevard, rehab expired.
Unfortunately, according to Mr. Pagic, Inspector Pagic, who's here today, he's indicated that Mr. Luters had no contact with him. We've had no improvements done, permits pulled after the rehab agreement was signed on June 9th. So this is going to go out to bid. And the board does not have to set another status. It'll simply go out to bid on our next bids, which I believe are set for October 27th or whatever that last Thursday in October is.
So since the agreement, there's been no action at all, right? Okay.
That's correct, right? Okay.
So there's no action required?
No action needed by the board. Just wanted to let you know we tried, but not going to happen, so we're going to bid.
Okay. No action bid. Okay. All right. Rental registration hearings. Item A, 52 through 54 Locust Street.
Actually, this is the same owner for,
Oh, for all of them? Okay.
the owner here for 52 through 54 Locust, 62, 57 Van Buren, and 40 Warren. Okay, so all three of the property addresses are two-unit rental properties owned by the same owner, and she's the only owner of record according to Lake County. The properties were previously in front of the Board of Public Works in 2017 and have received a waiver of the late fees at that time. They were registered on time prior. The only question that I had come across was the owner's actual primary residence and place of residence because, for instance, on the 54 Locust Street, there were three separate addresses since 2014 provided for the property owner, with the most current in Zone Pro for all three properties being 1087 Crabtree Lane in Chesterton, Indiana. We also have it previous year as the owner occupying one of the units on Locust, and then prior to that, the owner listed 40 Warren as their home address, and then a property on Alabama prior to that. So we're just trying to establish where the owner's primary residence is located because there is a full homestead tax exemption claimed on Locust, as well as the Crabtree Lane in Chesterton. Just trying to get that worked out and make sure that the owner, we have proper updated information, so in the event the owner needs to be notified of any potential violations or inspections that need to take place, you know, we can get a hold of her adequately.
You got a question? I know you do.
Go ahead and just introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Helen Yakolo's daughter. I made the mistake of letting her, I gave her all the paperwork for registration. She swears right now that she did it, but I said, show me a receipt. She couldn't. I called, found out she didn't do it. I will never, she's alert and oriented still, but forgetful and
So
confused.
you are the daughter?
I'm the daughter.
Okay.
I take care of everything now, so I highly apologize for the
Can
registration.
you explain the discrepancy that Nick
Yes.
sees in where,
Yeah. Well, I tried to get her
Where
to
you
move, I live in
reside?
Chesterton, and I tried to get her to move out there with me, and I actually, she did for a while, so she was residing with me in Chesterton, but then she said, no, she wants to go back to Locust, so she can work on the building and do things at the same time. My mom, she's stubborn. So she is at, I always get confused between 52 and 54.
is this the unit that butts up to the alley right there on Locust?
Yes, to Corner House. She's at 54, she's on the main floor now.
Gotcha, okay. No, I know
So
about
she's
that.
done a lot of, she was with me for approximately maybe a year, and then she said, I'm going back. So she's back out here. And again, for the registration, I will never allow her to rely on her to do that, and I apologize. I thought, and she to this day, she's saying I did it, and she did not. So
Yeah, like I said, for you, it was registered on time, all,
Which I was
3 properties. The property on Warren, I believe, we had, some issues with some, units that were deemed illegal and not code compliant, unsafe. The owner complied with the removal of those, converting it back to a 2-unit property. So overall, I mean, we really haven't had, any issues at the rentals. We just, wanted to make sure that, where the owner's primary residence is, so we can adequately, have her, apply for, a partial homestead, because they do allow for owners to claim a portion of a homestead tax exemption if they live in one of the units at a multi-unit property. So I would just ask that the board recognize 40 or 54 Locust as being owner occupied, and ask that they submit this change of homestead tax exemption form so that the appropriate homestead can be applied, because as of right now, a full homestead to reflect a single-family home is being used and deducted from the property address.
And so any further mailings, they'll all be going to the Chesterton address,
No.
to you?
But
I would appreciate that if that's possible, because then
Well,
I
I mean,
can keep
that's,
track of
I
everything.
think that's what
Right.
Nick,
Yeah.
we can coordinate.
Okay.
Like, obviously, if there are issues that need to be addressed, and, she has the wherewithal and ability to address them, we would just send out 2 at that point. So that way we,
Oh, I see.
legally, we notice the owner, but then we'll also include her
That
daughter,
would
be-
so that we can get
Okay.
action taken care of.
Yeah, that would be great. So her address is 54, and then she could do the homestead with that.
Yeah, she'll receive a partial homestead, but on all the rest of your documents, you need to indicate that 54 Locust, first floor apartment.
Yes.
So it needs- So that way, everything aligns and is properly recognized.
Okay, appreciate that, yeah.
Do you want to give the
After this,
William or no? Because of the history?
I think that's how Nick's leaning.
The history leading up to it and everything? Okay. Okay, I'm going to make a motion to waive the late fees for all 3 properties for 2022. However, ma'am, the only reason I'm making that motion is because of the history leading up to 2017
Right.
and after.
I agree.
Keep that in mind, it's only a courtesy, and
I'm-
it probably will not be extended again, so just do whatever you can, please, to make sure that's filed every year between January 1st and April 15th.
Yes.
Okay, and also, part of my motion is to complete the necessary homestead paperwork.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything, Nick's done, okay. Okay, meeting's open to the public. Anyone here care to speak on something that? Good today. Chris is good today, okay. Anyone else? Councilman Torres? Good morning. Looks like Darren Taylor's, no? Holy crap, man. Is that a car?
It looks like,
Car.
yeah.
Okay, this is car parts that's were dumped there. And it is behind 4905 Linden, which is Mr. Taylor's property. He didn't dump them. Some unknown person keeps dumping their code enforcement. Rich Castro is aware of it. Public Works won't pick it up because I guess the city has nowhere to dump car parts at. But it is a problem. Neighbors are complaining, of course. And Rich just advised me that all they can do is cite him. It is the property owner's responsibility, even though he didn't dump them there. Some unknown person just keeps on dumping car parts in that area. So I just brought it to your attention. the city attorney advised me, of course, see code enforcement and also talk to Johnny Parrish of Public Works. But Public Works just said they won't pick them up because of that reason. They don't know where to put them, and it is. He hasn't paid dues for sanitation for a number of years.
This property is currently on the order to repair demolish list, and so it doesn't have water or water accounts, and therefore, there is no city pickup service provided in this address because of that fact. So, we've been waiting on him to finish up, the remodeling of the property, at which point he'll get an inspection to prove the water turn on, and then he can sign up for a service and an account with the water department.
Could you come up here, Nick, please?
So this property is actually one that has been on the order to repair or demolish list for some time, if the board recalls. Mr. Taylor currently does not have the water service turned on at the property address and therefore would not receive the city pickup for trash and refuse, as most MO properties are required to get dumpsters for the debris until the rehab agreement has been fulfilled and a rescind order has been approved, at which point water can get inspected and then approved for turn on, and then he would go sign up for an account. So at this time, the city would not be performing any pickups regardless.
I've got a silly question then. I mean, this looks like, is this just off the alley?
Correct, yeah, so it looks like somebody
So
pulled up.
Is that
and-
technically Mr. Taylor's property
Yep.
there? It is?
Absolutely.
Even
What,
if
up
it's,
to
even
the
if
edge
it's
of
in
the
the
alley or
easement,
what?
if
Yeah.
it's in the easement, the property owner's still responsible for the alley line.
Right, the owners are actually responsible for 10 feet from the center of the paved alleyway.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of one of those things, unfortunately, if there's no way for us to tell or no identifying markers on the items that are dumped, typically, like, I'll, rip open bags and find mail, and I've held people accountable for that in court. So, unfortunately, it's one of those things where if we can't tell who did it, we can't, hold the individual who did it responsible.
We've been more than fair, the city and the board,
100%.
with him as far as the rehabilitation goes on the house.
Yeah.
You talk to him and ask him if he intends to move it or not?
We have notified him that it's his responsibility to clean it up. And quite honestly, if the work would have been done when it was supposed to be done and the house occupied, it probably wouldn't have happened.
Okay, but did he give you a response? Did he respond in any way yet?
He was informed the last time he was here for his update of the property about the dumping at the back of the property, and we told him that he's got to clean it up, and he said, I'll take care of it.
Okay, so can we, please, one of you guys make contact with him and find out when he intends to do that and give us the answer maybe
Yeah, I've asked
next
Rich
Thursday?
to issue a citation. So he'll have a court date to appear for the debris, which will normally prompt him to clean it up. And then at that
debris's been
point,
there for
yeah.
a month and a half.
That's why I'm saying, I don't know if we need to be a little bit more forceful with that or whatever we need to do, but, I mean, it's his responsibility, he's got to
Yep.
move it, so.
And he
Absolutely.
was made aware in person by Mr. Kearney when he was here last time for the review.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll make sure it gets cleaned up. He'll have a court
I
date.
think that's the only way to move forward.
Right.
He's got to move it. He's got to get rid of it.
So should we set that for status to next Thursday?
That's a May, yeah, that's fine.
Is it
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Is that enough time?
Okay.
Okay, so then I'm going to make a motion to set 4905 Linden Avenue for status to next week's meeting, which is
22nd,
September 20, what'd you say it was?
22.
22, September 22nd.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Caps are missing. Don't tell me they're stealing them, right? Are they stealing them for the scrap?
No, well, I don't know how, they're missing, and the residents are afraid somebody might trip over them, or,
Are these in the street?
yeah, they're on the street. I did talk to Water Department, and they just keep saying they're gonna send somebody out there, but they're open. And I talked to Public Works, the district supervisor, he says it's a Water Department responsibility. and they got to cap them some kind of way.
Water valves in there that they turn the water off with, right?
Yeah, so appreciate if you guys will give them, if the board,
Behind me when we can.
Okay, yeah, okay. Okay,
I'll get it.
You'll do it? Okay.
yeah, if the board will give them a call and see if they cap them or remove them. I don't know if they're useful or not.
oh, they're probably, I would think they're probably still in use.
I would think so too, but
They
even
probably
if
need
they're
to
not,
cap
they gotta be
them. They
covered,
need to
yeah.
put them plugs back in them.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, yeah, that's ash and hickory. And even though they're both North and South Street, ash does bend in that area. And, yeah, and it connects with hickory. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Don't need to do anything with that, right?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no, I trust you guys.
Yeah.
You got a handle on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anyone else to the public? Yes, sir?
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is James Lawson. I'm the owner at 7545 Walnut Avenue.
Sorry, sir, can you spell your last name?
Lawson.
Gotcha.
Yep, I've lived at that address, or owned it since 1980, and lived on that block since 66. I mean, I'm a long time Hammond resident. I have a few concerns, ideas, also a thank you.
I didn't get the address.
I want to get a
Can you give
thank-
us the address again, sir?
Sure, 7545 Walnut.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry to keep interrupting. but-
That's okay. Graduated class 76, Gavitt. Anyway, thank you guys, or whoever did it, to put the speed limit signs and the caution children at play signs on the street since Monday when I came to the council meeting. Thank you. And also, somebody started patching the alley already. That was great. Thanks, appreciate it. Had a couple of ideas I wanted to throw out to you, and that is, how about perhaps maybe 2-3 times a year run the street sweepers down the alleys? That might help at least get the idea the city cares about it, so maybe the residents might pick up on that too. I mean, I try and keep my section of alley cleaned up, but you drive down the alley between Walnut and I think it's Birch to the east of me, and it is nasty. Also, I have a concern about I love all the nice new trees that went in when the streets got paved and that, but they're still low. And so as their branches spread out, they block stop signs from being seen, like at 174th and Walnut. Either direction as you're heading there, and you don't see the stop sign until you're right up on it. And that's in a few other places too, even up and down 173rd. I was coming east on 173rd yesterday, and I noticed just before the stop sign before Calumet that, now granted, that's not a newer tree, that's an older tree, but it's kind of blocking the stop sign there. At one time years ago, I was part of the civil defense group, and one of the things that I guess the job that they had was if they saw things that needed to be taken care of, they would call it in, and some dispatcher would make a note, and that would get sent on. I don't know if you still have civil defense or not, but surely the squad cars, as they're patrolling their beats, if they see something that's a little out of whack or something, they could call it in dispatch, and then dispatch could have a list here. Oh, this is stuff that has to go into Public Works or whatever. Just an idea. Somebody asked me, I told them I was going to this meeting, and said, ask about what's going on with the bridge at Northcott over the river. You guys know?
Yes, the Little Calumet River Commission, they're doing some work there that's going to take probably 4 to 5 weeks, I believe. Is that right, Mr. Gordish?
Yes.
So it's even though the city of Hammond's aware of it, the work actually has to get done through Dan Repay and his folks, right?
It's actually a Munster closure for the river, so they don't have to utilize so much labor to close it. Panels being set up, and they just install the panels, so that's what the work is. It's on the Munster side.
But it's completely closed, right, for those 4 to 5 weeks, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious. Anyway, the other thing I had as a comment, and I don't know who to talk to on it, so I'm going to start with you guys. Well, I started with city council, and then I was suggested to come to you guys. I realize you don't have anything to do with the police department, but do you know anything about who sets up when the police cars patrol their beats or whatever? I mean, I can't tell you the last time I saw a squad car just come down the street just to be patrolling. I mean, I've seen them come down the street to go to somebody's house for something, but it's like, I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know how shorthanded the cops are or anything like that. I mean, they do a great job. I mean, they have a vital job to perform. But I mean, if they're just going down the main streets and not down the residentials, I mean, if they came down our street more often, perhaps I wouldn't have so many people speeding down the street, you know, which is a problem on my block anyway. So, I don't know.
Well, I'm the, I don't know if you know or not, I'm the assistant police chief, so we definitely have something to do with the police department.
Okay, thank you.
I can make it known that you'd like extra patrols there, but I do know that they do patrol the city streets, all of them. Maybe there's times a day you don't see them, but I'll make sure that gets, it's a little bit more active over there.
Okay.
I can do that for sure.
Okay.
And speeding is the complaint, basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's been a big problem over the last year or so. You know?
It's a problem all over the city.
I'm sure.
So much construction, people are in a hurry.
Yeah.
And they drive faster, and unfortunately, we have people from other states that like to drive even faster than that.
Yeah.
So we're doing the best we can, but I'll make sure we get extra patrols over there on the street,
Okay.
for sure.
Well, thank you, appreciate that. Thank you for
Welcome.
your service, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Lawson?
As far as the parkway trees go, sorry, the branches that are low hanging, obstructing, stop signs or any street signs, if they forward the addresses to our attention at code enforcement, it's actually the owner's responsibility to maintain their parkway, including the trees that grow there. So they are required to keep any public right-of-way free from any obstruction or growth that may be occurring. So if you want to just forward your the addresses to the code enforcement department, the district inspector can go out and have a conversation with the owner to make sure that those branches get cut.
Okay. Well, you also might want to, I don't know how you'd make it known to property owners and stuff, but like the fellow who lives across the street from me, he's the landlord for he rents the house out, but he was under the impression that he couldn't touch those trees. He went ahead and did anyway, because he was trying to cut the tree away from the street lamp so that light could be. He said, I'll take the chance. And he says, but then I found out from Jason that, yeah, we can cut them, we just can't cut them down.
Remove them entirely or, destroy them per se, but maintaining them and ensuring that the growth is cut out of the street so vehicles aren't hit by the branches and out of the sidewalk so people can walk by, that is owner's responsibility.
Okay.
Anything further, Mr. Lawson? Thank you much. Thank you much, sir. Anyone else? Again, once again, Eva, welcome to the board.
Thank you.
Good first meeting.
Very good.
Mr. Long, anything you'd like to say?
Just that I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
And I will second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.